Hey everybody, Thrift Store Hacker back again, and I found a new piece of rubbish out of the rubbish bin. It's this LED panel. It came off of a outside, like an outdoor light fixture. Um, there's the only markings on it right there, so I guess that'd be a product number. I can go look that up later. But I found this. It was connected to this ballast here that I cracked open to see what was in it. And this is just reducing the wall voltage from 120 volts down to whatever voltage this is in DC. So since I cracked it open, you can almost smell that through the camera that something in there burnt out. So we're done with that piece. I throw that away, and I just pulled the panel off. Now I'm trying to figure out the voltage on it. I know it's higher than 18 volts. Because I'll take my 18 volt drill battery here and plug it on. As you can see, the lights barely light up. So I have this adjustable power supply here. I don't know how well you can see it, but it goes from 12 to 24 volts, and you can ramp it up incrementally. So I'm going to plug this in, and we'll see what kind of voltage we can do. I have a switch here, and I put some spade connectors on, so I'll put that switch together. And this is just controlling the positive side of the power, so I can flick this thing on and off. Twist this beast together here. Okay. So since we know 18 volts, I'll turn on the power supply first. Since we know 18 volts is kind of where it's getting started. You can see 18 volts here. This has got a lot more amperage than the drill battery right now. Drill battery's probably about half dead. But 18 volts is pretty good. It gives some normal amount of light. I'll try turning it up here. That's 20 volts. Whoa, 24 volts. Wow, that is ridiculously bright. As you can see, it's drowning out all my other lights around it. Should turn it off. That's the normal lighting. And then turning that on just drowns everything else out. So I think 24 volts is probably going to be the best way to run it. Which is great because the e-bike runs on 24 volts, so I can make one big ridiculous headlight for that. Okay, that's getting warm. I'm going to set it down. So you can see it's built onto the back of a metal plate, and there's some thermal paste and stuff on there. So let's put a heat sink on it. I've already dug through my box of random junk. I found this. Put a hole down the middle of it to fit that hole. We'll just mount that right on there like that. I'll come back and put some thermal paste on it. I don't have any right now. But we'll put that together. Throw a washer on top of it. And then tighten this down so it doesn't go anywhere. There we go. So that should dissipate the heat off of this. Well, let's give that a try now. Turn our light back on. Just look at the amount of light that puts out. Alright, let me give you a comparison here. I'll turn that down, and I'm going to shut all the lights off down here. Since we're in the basement, it can be almost completely dark. So I'm going to just set that to 18 volts. We'll turn this out towards the other side of the basement here. At 24 volts, that makes a heck of a lot of light. Look at that. Wow. So I'll turn that back down. turn my quote-unquote studio lights. They're not really studio lights, folks. They're just $10 lamps from the Target. Alright, so since I have this set up, I think this is rather neat. Oh, almost losing my camera there. There we go. Okay, let's turn the rest of the lights on here. So I think one thing we should try is to see how much voltage this thing is pulling. Now, if you remember this box, I have a video for it. I'll either post it in the description or you can dig it around. But this allows me to measure DC volts, watts, and amps. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hook this up. Let's see here. This goes from the power supply. I'll twist that in right there. And then coming off the other side is where we would put the power for this device here. Of course, when you're trying to do it all on camera, it's 5 times harder, but, you know, that's YouTube life. Okay, so we have the negative going through there, and then I need to hook some positive power to power the screen. And I'll just pick that up from right here. Should be able to turn on now. As you can, well, you can probably see. Let's see if I can get you a better camera view. Yeah, 18.64 volts here. Try to set this up so y'all can see it. Okay. So 18.64 volts. And we're going to kick the switch on here. It doesn't look like it's drawing much of a load right now, so let's go up to the next voltage, which is 19 volts. So it's putting out 19.59 volts. It's using 2.1 watts of power. It's using 2.1 watts power, 0.11 amps, so a tenth of an amp. So we'll crank it up again. We're at the 20 volts, so that's 20.62 volts. It's using just over a quarter amp at 5.7 watts. And we'll turn it all the way up to 24 volts. You can see the current jumped up on that pretty high. It's now up to an amp, 28.5 watts, with a super bright light. So it's putting out a whole lot of light for just 28, 29 watts. You can see it's climbing as the resistance, well, as it heats up and there's more resistance. But 1 amp, 29 watts, that's not that bad. I can run this light for a really long time on the electric bike. I can run it for almost a whole day if I wanted to. But it's super bright. So we're going to power this off and get it out of the way. So I think the best thing to do with this, now that we have a power panel here and a way to dissipate all the heat that comes off of this, is I can either turn this into a bike headlight or a really, really awesome flashlight, which I'm going to be going camping. You're going to see some really cool videos in the next coming weeks. But I think I'm going to turn this into a gigantic flashlight. It's not going to be as cool as like the 25 kilowatt flashlight, millions and millions of candle watt power flashlight that some of the other hackers on the channels on YouTube are doing, but I thought you guys might get a kick out of this. But it is an amazing light panel for just being found as junk. I changed out a light fixture for one of my friends, and this was in the light fixture, and as I said, it was flickering, so the voltage regulator or voltage drop was bad in it, and it was just cheaper to buy a whole new fixture because you can't really find the replacement panels for most LED equipment that you buy at the home store yet. Soon they'll probably put out some universal panels that you can wire in, but they all operate at such different voltages and stuff. It's basically when the LED panel or something in the LED light starts going out, you might as well just throw it in the trash. But we can turn trash into treasure on this channel. So this is as far as I'm going with it this time, and until next time, build stuff and have fun.